Hi everyone, today I just want to make a video about what stops me from drinking these days and pretty much what's led me to thinking that or feeling that alcohol's just a hobby that I used to do and I'm just not interested anymore. And I think they're definitely both linked in my case. I think because I'm so certain that I'm not drinking again, I think that just allowed me to put it in the past. And I appreciate it's a very difficult place to get to. And as you know, everyone has different challenges around booze and we seem to all have the same journey. But as I say, I think just from the fact that I'm now 100% never getting on it again, that allows me to kind of bury the hatchet. And I think the main thing, I guess it's quite general maybe, is that I've just got way too much to lose now. As you know, I'm not going to go through the 100 benefits that you get that we all know, like the sleep and the finances and feeling great and everything that goes with it. But I've just got way much to lose. It's as simple as that. And I remember getting a comment from a guy, it must have been a good month ago or something, and it was all in the kind of context of the conversation. And even after a while, I still go back and see the comments just with the way the news feed kind of in the background of YouTube works. And he had just randomly commented on another comment, I think it was, and he'd basically just said, I don't have time to booze anymore and I don't have time for a hangover. And it's so true. All my days are just filled with stuff that I need to get done. As time passes and the dust settles and you start getting your affairs in order, you start filling your days with things to do, things that need done. And I can imagine if you've got kids, for example, that would probably even be more so than myself. You might volunteer to be a coach or help out at the school, or you've nominated yourself to do the school run from now on. And it gets to the stage maybe a year in where you're just like, okay, not only would I lose the good sleep and the extra money and feeling good on a Monday, there's bigger things arguably that would give way, Like I'd say, I'd maybe have to stop doing the school run. Maybe I would, I know that I would fall into the bad habits, and the coaching's twice a week and I would have to lose all that. And it's funny because I think this time, knowing how hard it was to get off it after I started stupidly thinking I could moderate again and fell back into the same cycle, which I think it seems to be everyone does that. It's kind of wild. So if you're listening and you're thinking about moderating, don't, because I've read thousands of comments and it doesn't work. And the second time, I think there's just even more to lose. And I know the battle that would come with it, because I know for a fact that I just can't moderate now. And that's another biggie, to be honest. Knowing that I'll fall back into the same trap. I know I can't stick to special occasions. I know I can't stick to Saturday night only. I know I can't do, I'm not boozing Sundays because I always just fail. I'm not even going to go into the mental gymnastics that moderation has on you. I'm pretty sure you all know. You've got a big night out on a Friday, Saturday or something, and you're debating with yourself the whole week. Debating, appeasing, reasoning. It's just nuts. And I just know that moderation will never work. And a big one as well definitely is that I think I would let folk down, after, especially the second time, being a bit more, because I quit in 2017, if you're new to the channel, stopped for 4 or 5 years, thought I could moderate, fell back into the trap for about 2-3 years, and July 2025 I got back out of it. But the second time when I told kind of close friends and that, I think they were really happy, you know, family and friends, because they could see that it was just getting me down and, you know, the usual stuff. And I think it would be that thing that everybody hates. It's like, I'm not annoyed with you, I'm just disappointed, you know, which nobody wants to hear. But I think it would be genuine, like, I think folk would just feel gutted. They would be like, well, what are you going to do? Like, with everything that you've fought again so hard to get out of? Because, as I spoke before, getting out of the cycle after I thought I could moderate was 100 times harder. I just thought because I had experience before, maybe quitting, but you know, the mindset just wasn't there, and it was so hard. And I would just let way too many people down. And there's things that come back that I just wouldn't want, those negatives, you know. I know I wouldn't want, obviously, the hangovers and lack of money, but stuff like the brain fog, it just gives me the fear. Because the way I describe brain fog is just can't be bothered doing anything. Like, it was like when I had my man flu recently. That's the closest thing I've had to like a proper hangover and being back in that cycle. I just couldn't be arsed, you know, like cooking dinner, changing the channel. You know, I need to get up tomorrow. Oh, got something meant to go somewhere on Friday and I just can't be bothered. And that was it, you know. And I would hate for the brain fog to come back again, because it was 100 times worse the second time I started boozing again after I thought I could moderate. Because the first time I quit, everything was so fresh in my mind. Everything was so new, you know, like, oh, I can't believe how great I'm sleeping. Oh my, you know, you're 2 months in, 7 months in, and can't believe how much money I've saved. So then when you're back to having brain fog and you're back to going out binge drinking at the weekends and all that crap, like, it was still fresh in my head, and I wanted to be a doer, you know, I wanted to be like the guy that just seizes the day, but I couldn't be arsed, and I would hate for that stuff to come back. And of course, I've got the YouTube channel. I never set it up to be, you know, I can't even remember the word, but just kind of be my, you know, main reason that, like, you know, I can't quit, because obviously I'm doing the YouTube channel, and there's, you know, I'd have to give it up. My accountability buddy, that's the one, accountability buddy. So, like, I never looked at YouTube like that, but now, because I never even thought it was going to grow, you know, I thought I might get 500,000 subscribers after a year and that was it, but it's kind of just grown, and now I really love it, you know, and I love doing the videos and I love helping other people, and that would have to go, because I would never keep it going if I was drinking, because I would just feel like the biggest fraud ever, and folk pick up on that and it would just be one big lie. So given that, you know, the channel would fail, it would ultimately fail, but it's just not worth it, you know. In conclusion, too much to lose, I've got too much stuff going on, too many positive things happening, the future's bright, you know, could be brighter of course, but comparing, you know, now to 2 years ago when I'm still, you know, out Friday, Saturday and having hair of the dog on a Sunday morning, it's just like a life that, you know, I dreamt of. And it's great to wake up every morning and feeling good, and at the end of the day, the week, the month, looking back and ticking boxes and going, you know what, I've actually done a lot this week, moved forward, going in the right direction. It's just such a better life that I would never want to give up. But hope you enjoyed this one. Plenty more daily videos to come. I'm determined to keep them going. And yeah, if you got any topics you want to cover, stick them in the comments. I get quite a lot of suggestions. Some are just like everyone else's journey. Some parts of my journey were just boring. You know, I've got some decent hangover stories in my playlists, you know, and advice on this and that. But other areas, you know, it's just like nothing really exciting happened. So, but I'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.